Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs reaction. I can't call this an instant reaction because I'm posting it the morning after. But here's the deal for the game for me, right? I came in thinking that the Buffalo Bills would win a close one. I thought that the Buffalo Bills have been the best team in the AFC all season. They were my preseason pick to make the Super Bowl. And yeah, Kansas City's still going to have something to say about it. And yes, Kansas City is 2-3. They're 2 games behind the Buffalo Bills. But what I think this game does, and if you think this regular season game isn't important, it is. And I'll remind you that Peyton Manning and Tom Brady often played basically for the right to host the AFC Championship game. I think that's exactly what happened this week. And I do think that this is going to be a rematch of the AFC champion, or I think we'll get a rematch in the AFC championship game, and I will take Buffalo in that game at home, by the way. The Buffalo Bills defense was the story. I came in thinking that the Buffalo Bills would win this one fairly narrowly. I actually had Buffalo winning 32-27. That's 59 total points. We ended up with 38-20, 58 total points. So I was somewhat dialed in on the offense, but obviously the gap was bigger because that Buffalo Bills defense made a play, didn't they? Josh Allen, let me get into the stats here. Josh Allen goes 15-26. Completion percentage, not that great, but this, Josh Allen is going to do well on the ground anyway, which I'll get to in a second. 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. He adds 11 runs, 59 yards, and a touchdown. By the way, both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes were selling out for this win, so don't tell me that regular season games don't count. They were diving forward. Quarterbacks usually don't do that. Patrick Mahomes, by the way, took a couple of hits that were very borderline, almost late hits there. I think they could have gotten a flag or two in the first half, but it didn't happen. Usually you would think because Kansas City was home, they would get that flag, but they didn't. Buffalo Bills fans, tell me, were those late hits? I think they were. Tell me. Go ahead and comment below. Zach Moss gives you 11 carries, 37 yards, no touchdowns on the ground. 3 catches, 55 yards, no touchdowns through the air. I thought Zach Moss was going to get into the end zone, so I was wrong on that. Devin Singletary, not much of a factor. I had this more of as a Moss game, so I was correct in that prediction. Receiving-wise, you know what? I got to give credit to Kansas City because I think they made it hard on Buffalo. And yeah, I know the weather was a little bit wet and all that too. But Stephon Diggs only getting 2 catches for 69 yards. Emmanuel Sanders is the one who gets in the end zone, but even his yardage is only 54 yards, right? The yardage leader for the Buffalo Bills was Dawson Knox, 3 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown. He continues to eat up these touchdowns because again, what do defenses do? They have to cover Diggs. You have to double cover Diggs, and then Emmanuel Sanders is good enough in single coverage to get open. Then you have Cole Beasley over the middle. Last night, only gets you 1 reception for 5 yards, so not really a factor. But what else does that do? That basically leaves Dawson Knox for that giant touchdown. I think it was 53-yard touchdown, something like that. The Buffalo Bills had it going. Now the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't really get it going too much. Patrick Mahomes throws 2 interceptions. That's not characteristic of him. 33 of 54, 274 yards, 2 touchdowns in those 2 picks. Credit Buffalo, everybody. You got to credit this defense. Everybody forgot that Buffalo had a good defense 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. This Buffalo Bills defense can play. Last year, they weren't that great. They reloaded. They're good again, everybody. They're scary. They're a scary team. Patrick Mahomes also adds 8 carries, 61 yards on the ground. Darrell Williams gives you 5 carries, 27 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 7 carries, 13 yards. Probably his worst game of the season. Probably will, as we look back, this will have been the worst game of the season. But again, we kind of thought that was going to happen. The Buffalo Bills' run defense is pretty darn good. Receiving-wise, Buffalo gives 13 targets, 7 catches, 63 yards to Tyreek Hill. You call that a win, right? Mecole Hardman gets 12 targets, 9 receptions, 76 yards. If Mecole Hardman is the leading receiver for Kansas City, it's going to be a rough day. Let me find, where are you, Travis Kelce? 10 targets, 6 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown. So basically, teams generally, the book on Kansas City since about midway through last year is you double, you triple cover Tyreek Hill, and if you have the skill set to not have to triple cover him and still keep him in check, then you're doing all right. And then you give Travis Kelce, you give him the touchdown, you give up, the targets and the receptions. Well, they end up not bottling up because you don't bottle at Kansas City up, but they did as good a job as anybody outside of maybe Tampa last year in the Super Bowl of really kind of shutting this offense down. Travis Kelce gives you 6 catches. Tyreek Hill gives you 7 catches. That's 13. That's pretty good. But only, 120 yards between the two of them and 1 touchdown? If that's what teams are doing to Kansas City, meanwhile also kind of shutting down the run, Kansas City's not really going to win that game, generally speaking, especially against a team with an offense like Buffalo. Jerick McKinnon, 2 receptions, 13 yards. Pringle, 2 receptions, 11 yards and a touchdown. What the Buffalo Bills did is they took the stars out of the game, and they did it on the road, mind you, and they did it with a giant weather delay. I think that's something that they can do again when they meet in the playoffs, because I believe they will absolutely be meeting in the AFC Championship game. I think these are the 2 best teams in the conference. I know Kansas City hasn't gotten it done, and with respect to the Chargers, who have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs, I think Kansas City will get it together by the end of the season. The big issue for them is the defense. They're going to get healthier. I look forward to an AFC Championship game, Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe, yes, it will be Buffalo at home. And what a game that's going to be. There's my reaction for the week. Everybody comment below what surprised you. Buffalo Bills fans, what went right? What do you need to improve on to make that Super Bowl run? Same question to you, Kansas City. What went right? Also tell me what went wrong and what needs to change for Kansas City to beat Buffalo and make it back to their third Super Bowl in a row. Thanks, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back next time with a few game previews coming up this week as well.